Welcome back. You are watching QTV this morning. The program is sponsored by Opticalia. They're located at the Tropic Shopping Center, Senegambia. So now we are back. Before the break, I said we'll be talking to the Association of the Female Lawyers of the Gambia in partnership with the program for the promotion of the rule of law in sub-Saharan Africa of, I hope I'm going to mention it right, Conrad Adenauer Foundation. Yes, organizing a training in strengthening women and children access to justice and community policing on the 23rd and 24th February 2023 at the Ocean Bay Hotel, Cape Point, Bakau. So you are welcome. I have Mariatu J. Newlands, and she is the female legal practitioner, social secretary, and of course we have Ingo Badoreck. Am I right? Is that the right pronunciation? Yes. So it's good to have you here. And we'll start with Mariatu. Oh, should I say men first?
Ladies first.
No, let's say men first this
ladies
time.
First.
What do you say? Can we say that? Always ladies first. So let's start with men. Isn't it, Julia?
It's up to you.
Okay, let's give them a chance.
I think I'll just take it ladies first.
All right. So please tell us about this.
Thank you, Mr. Balde. As you mentioned, Female Lawyers Association, FLAG, we're partnering with the Conrad Foundation in terms of implementing this project that you stated. Just to give a brief on who Female Lawyers Association is, FLAG is an association of female lawyers which was established in 2006. And our membership, of course, as the name indicates, consists of female lawyers. But of course, we welcome male members of the legal profession as well to, serve as honorary members in the association. So generally, what we do is we work on issues that affect women and children. But most importantly, we operate a legal aid clinic in our secretariat where we offer free legal advice and representation for women and children whose rights have been violated, who are having hindrance in terms of accessing justice. And of course, we also extend our work to raising awareness on issues that affect women and children and lobby for legislative reform on gender-sensitive laws. So in summary, this is what FLAG is and what FLAG does.
Okay, then we will come to you. Then we will allow Mr. Inko to tell us about Conrad.
Yeah, the Konrad Adenauer Foundation is a German political foundation who's named after the first German Chancellor, Konrad Adenauer. It's sometimes difficult to pronunciate. Yeah. So we are a German political foundation who is active in 120 countries all over the world, and we have a regional office in Dakar, in Senegal. And this regional office is covering 20 countries in sub-Saharan Francophone Africa on rule of law related issues. So we're doing seminars, workshops, trainings, publications on rule of law related issues. And for us, it's a great honor to be in the Gambia for the very first time, because we're normally covering only Francophone countries. But since you're surrounded by Senegal, we're also covering the Gambia. So I'm very happy for me. This is the first time. I've never been to Banjul. And I'm very happy to have a partner like FLAG with us tomorrow to do a two-day seminar about women's and children's access to justice. And for us, it's also a great thing not only to have the civil society sectors involved, but we've got government institutions, we've got ministries, we've got about 50 women from all over the country. And I have to read this because I don't know Gambia so well, so they're coming from Lower River, North Bank, Upper River and West Coast regions, and we really want to see how we can inform women about their rights to really make sure that those rights that they have are being implemented.
How did you come about this selection process? How is it done? And what is the rationale behind the whole initiative?
Well, first of all, we work always with partners because we are just experts coming from abroad. I'm not as expert on women's rights. So we came to the Gambia and we found out that there is FLAG as a Female Lawyers Association who is a perfect partner to do exactly what we want to do. And we have to be aware of the fact that Gambia is no exception if it comes to violence against women. According to the WHO, the UN agency, there's 1 in 3 women that is subject to physical or sexual violence at one part in their life. In the Gambia, that's the same thing. And there's, of course, some cultural specificities to the context. sexual violence is more prevalent here, and things like female gender mutilation. So in this context, we would like really to make people aware of the laws that there are, because we found out there's good laws. Marietta will know better than me, but there's the Women's Act, there's the Children's Defense, there's the Sexual Violence Act. So there's good laws, but what we need to make sure that women are more aware of those laws, that the judiciary and other stakeholders are also more prone to implement those laws, so we can all have a better awareness.
I think your initiative, it's a good one, but I mean, how are you going to do this? I mean, we all know in certain countries, especially the Gambia, we have laws that are being carried out by, Parliament. But implementing some of these laws are problems. We have laws that are already covered, with dust in their cabins. They have never been implemented, So how are you going to do that?
At this point, Maria should really help us with that.
Yes, you're very right, and that is actually one of the main aims of this activity. So just to give a rundown, the purpose of the activity is actually to bring the stakeholders, mainly the individuals who are responsible for administering and enforcing this law, face to face with, I would say, beneficiaries of these laws, or I would say community women and children. So the idea is to sort of have them in one platform where a dialogue would be created for the women to have the opportunity to actually outline and indicate the challenges they face in their respective regions, particularly in accessing justice. And some of these challenges we know are not only cultural challenges, but also institutional challenges. And also for the stakeholders to also have an opportunity to actually respond to these challenges, for them to acknowledge that these challenges exist, for them to actually jointly come up with recommendations on how to overcome the challenges. So so basically the format of the activity is a 2-day activity. The first day, like he mentioned, we're inviting stakeholders ranging from the police, the Ministry of Gender, the National Assembly Select Committee on Gender, various stakeholders, even the judiciary and district authorities are all part of the stakeholders that are going to be part of this activity. And the first day is sort of like a refresher training where we'll talk about the various legislations in the country. And the second day is more or less a day of panel discussions, which is like a dialogue and a face-to-face. So we believe that, as you mentioned, there are so many events that are organized, so many activities that that are hosted, with these various stakeholders. However, we have realized that one of the challenges is to bring the stakeholders and these affected individuals under one umbrella. That is why FLAG initiated this activity in partnership with the Conrad Foundation, and we believe that the outcome would yield results because the recommendations that we intend to obtain from these panel discussions, we are going to use as a tool to lobby and ensure that there's effective measures in ensuring that there's implementation of these legislations that have been mentioned.
Okay, so how many women and children are we talking about here, and how do you come about the selection process?
All right, so so FLAG has worked in all regions of the Gambia, and in all the regions we have focal persons that we work with. So in terms of the selection process, we partnered with the regional youth committees, who is an umbrella consisting of youth and children. We also have we've also have partnership with various district authorities, that is the district tribunals and the chiefs. And we also had partnership with the mothers clubs in the various regions. So these were the stakeholders that facilitated and assisted us in ensuring that we identified the right individuals. And I'll also mention that we have a strong relationship with the child welfare unit at the police department, and they have also been helpful in terms of pointing out the right individuals who should be part of this activity. So that is how we went through the selection process in identifying the individuals needed.
All right, let's engage you at this point. Let's talk about consistency. I mean, how how consistent will you be, I mean, supporting the Female Lawyers Association of the Gambia, I mean, to help our people in this country?
I think we have to be realistic. We're just one external actor that can provide assistance to a specific other actor like FLAG on a specific issue. I'm covering 20 countries. But at the same time, we realize that Gambia has a lot of advantages in relation to other countries. And I'm covering countries like Burkina Faso, like Mali, like Guinea, where the security challenges are much more prevalent.
Exactly.
And we have a context here where you have a peaceful, functioning society, where you have security, you have the basic pillars of rule of law functioning. That's one reason why we said this is a country where we would like to make a mark. And I'm sure this is just the start for our activities in the Gambia. We will see how that goes, but I can also promise you we will be back.
Well, I am pretty sure now in the Gambia, people are getting used to standing up for their rights, especially women and children. It's not like previous years whereby a person will be suppressed to an extent where you cannot stand. With you know, organizations like yours, you know, people are starting to understand how important it is to stand for yourself, you know. But at the end of the time, what do we expect at the end of these 2 days? What are we expecting?
Like I mentioned earlier, the main purpose of this activity is to be able to get clear and concrete and realistic recommendations jointly from stakeholders who are implementers and administrators of these laws, and also from the women who are the ones that actually benefit from the effective implementations of these laws. And the idea is, once we get these recommendations, as FLAG, we have the legal expertise to actually point out relevant amendments to laws and recommendation in terms of lacunas in our laws and so on. So the idea is to get these recommendations, put them together, use them as a tool to lobby for if need be, legislative reform, if need be, structures to be in place for effective implementation of these laws, and if need be, even a reform at the level of the various institutional levels like the police, the judiciary, and the district tribunals, to ensure that, you know, these laws, as you mentioned, as beautiful as they are effectively implemented and successfully ensure that the women and the children that they seek to protect actually realize the intention of these laws.
When it comes to the protection of women's rights and of course children's rights, how do you do that, and what kind of cases do you handle? Because it's really interesting to know that there is a body specifically, you know, that is there to fight for the rights of women and children in this country for free, I want to believe.
Yes.
Exactly. Tell us more about that.
I think I would say the Legal Aid Clinic at FLAG is one of our strengths and one of the most unique operations we have in this country. As you're aware, we have NALA, the National Agency for Legal Aid, but unfortunately they're only constrained to provide free representation in respect of criminal matters. So we're the only body providing free legal advice and representation for women and children in civil cases. And I can tell you the number of cases we receive in a month can sometimes go up to 30. And these extend to various regions in the Gambia. Sometimes it's just telephone calls where they need advice. Sometimes we even go to court for these women. Currently, we have, I would say, one very important case that we're handling in Bara, SL, where, you know, the lady is basically being deprived of her rights to property, jointly acquired matrimonial property. And we sometimes have issues relating to child custody, issues relating to child maintenance. So I would say we handle these unique cases. And let me say, countless times we've had cases where sexual violence had been an issue, where FLAG would actually go to the extent of having to engage the police to prosecute. I myself have watched brief in certain high-profile cases, which I'm not going to mention, but I had watched brief in certain high-profile sexual violence cases where I have provided support to the state, the Ministry of Justice, where I have also supported the police in terms of ensuring that they have the relevant information and tools to be able to successfully prosecute some of these matters. So we do a great job, and I'm very proud to be a member of FLAG. And
we are proud of you too.
Thank you. Although, however, we do have challenges in operating the legal aid because, like you said, we do it for free. So we sometimes have challenges in terms of ensuring that, you know, the women and the children are adequately represented. And before I forget, I would say that our members are the ones that actually take up these cases for free. So it is our members that take up these cases for free. Wow. They use their money, they use their time, and help these women and children. And I will applaud every member of FLAG for their support in ensuring that the rights of women. We have more than 100 female lawyers in the Gambia. However, it's only 60 active members that we currently have. So we're urging all the other female members to be more into the cause that FLAG does and be more of support to the FLAG.
Okay. Exactly. So, I mean, how often will you be organizing such kind of gatherings? I mean, and do you have any plans of decentralizing this? Maybe going to Basse next time?
So this is the idea. Like I said, some of our participants are coming from Basse and joining us. However, like you said, sometimes it's important to go and reach out to them, find them in their comfort zones, in their communities where, you know, you create more impact. During the course of this year, we have an upcoming project with the American Bar Association where we'll be holding sensitization programs across the regions as well. So we have more coming up in the pipeline, and hopefully with some of our proposals and funding approved, we will do a lot more in this year to reach out to more women and children in the Gambia.
Thank you very much. I would really love them to go to Basse because I need to teach my grandfather a lesson.
Seriously, Balde? He's watching you.
So thank you very much for coming on the program, Mariatu J and Ingo Badoreck. It sounds like Ibrahima. You know the Ibrahima Gambian name?
Yeah, I know it.
It sounds like Ibrahima.
Well, it's probably linked somehow.
All right,
all one world.
Thank you very much for coming. We'll take a short break. After the break,